First of all, I want to thank Louise for making this whole thing come together. It's kind of cool. And obviously, you all made it happen, but without the connection, things don't happen. Robert, there's a really cool story how I met Robert. There's a sad and a good part. The sad part was his nephew. We went to the funeral together, and that's where I met him. And so we had a common bond there. But then afterwards, at the wake, we're talking, and I asked some questions about him, and I said, so what do you do? And he hands me a business card, and it has Google, certified Google on there. First of all, I didn't know what Google was. And then I certified. I was like, you're certified? And come to find out the guy's a genius. And really has never gotten the kind of notoriety and respect that he deserves. And just to kind of give you an idea, in Sacramento, is it 11 times you've been on television now with Fox 40? 14 times. They featured him on Fox 40 to talk about different aspects of social media. He is their go-to expert that they bring in. And I've got him on camera where I'm filming him when they're filming him. Just to prove the point. That is kind of exciting. And then when we launched, our official launch 3 years ago, he did something pretty magical. Now we built this whole company on air. In other words, when I had another company and I was financing what we were doing with Successful Thinkers, and that company went defunct. As a result, I lost my IT department, my design department, my customer service department, every aspect of what I needed to run this company. And so it just had to go on air. And yet Robert showed us how to use social media. And one day I asked him a question. I go, Robert, I was on Alexa.com and I was looking at our time spent on the website. And it says we're online for 4 minutes or something like that. And he goes, really? And I go, yeah. And he goes, Jim, 1.5 minutes is good.
14 minutes.
No. Let me get there. And so I go, 1.5 minutes is good? He goes, yeah. Anybody who can get people to stay on their website for 1.5 minutes is awesome. He goes, and we're really at 4. So he looked it up and he made sure I was telling the truth. And then I just kept paying attention to it over the months. And then we hit 4 minutes, or 5 minutes, and 6 minutes, and 7 minutes. So then I started thinking, who's got a lot of minutes of people staying on the website? And of course, Facebook is like 31, 32 minutes, maybe longer today, I don't know. YouTube was at 21, 22 minutes. And back in 2009, MySpace was at 19 point something minutes. And I don't know who was after that. Well, I kept watching this thing and it hit 8 minutes, and 9 minutes, and 10 minutes, and 15, 14 minutes, 15 minutes, 16 minutes, and MySpace was going downhill pretty fast. They went like this. We went like this to 17.8 minutes, and we were number 3 in the world. But when you're doing how to pay it forward, and you have no customer service, and you've got all kinds of bugs and problems in your website, and Robert Vellarde and me were customer service, Robert said, no more website. I'm pushing everybody to Facebook, and then here we are 3 years later, and trying to get people to come back to the website. But the good news is I got some really good news I'm going to tell you in a minute. So the history of the company kind of starts like this. I was doing some video work, doing interviews with entrepreneurs, because I felt like you can bring in some major players that have a really good track record. People really love them. They read their books and all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to create something where it was everyday people that've gone through the trials and tribulations of success. And I called it Successful Thinkers. I typed it in, it was available. And this was in mid to late 2008. And then I went to Charlotte, North Carolina to an event, and I was a guest speaker, and I discovered an organization called Positive Thinkers and Doers, or Positive Charlotte Thinkers and Doers, something like that. And they just really resonated with me and what they were trying to accomplish. And anyways, months later, I end up launching Successful Thinkers Meetup, which is what this is. With the whole vision in mind that we grow this thing nationally and internationally. And I thought we were going to be able to fund it and financially, but it didn't happen. And so it's just been a really kind of a grow to go, that kind of a thing. And the more I would go to these events and see them pop up all over the United States, I'd flown to over 60 events in different parts of the United States and realized that we had something pretty unique. I mean, people really like the concept of know, like, and trust. Don't pitch your business before you get to know somebody. And I realized we're just onto something big, really big. And really nobody's really kind of taken our format and ran with it this way. And this is where high tech meets high touch. So I realized I never did this talk until about a year ago, and it was on purpose, with a purpose, for a purpose. Because Successful Thinkers was obviously launched on purpose to bring people use high tech to bring them offline, where they can have a safe environment to meet and greet other people and kind of grow their business. With a purpose was designed to, help educate people, help them learn things that could enhance their business and their personal life, and then finally, for a purpose, to actually be able to do something in the local communities. Because right now in the United States, all local communities are suffering. Some are bankrupt already, and if we don't really get down to the grassroots level of what made America to begin with, then we're just going to keep imploding on ourselves. And I really believe that if we can really get serious about this thing, and I really want the politicians to pay attention to us. I'm not exaggerating when I say this, because if they need our government taxes, right? They need our taxes. So that means they got to have people spend money where they live, eat in restaurants, buy your products and services, et cetera, because they can go online and buy your products and services. They don't have to buy it directly from you anymore. Most businesses can be bought anywhere in the country, actually, even in the world. So, for a purpose is to actually get people to spend money locally and actually give back to the community, both from an economical standpoint, from the government side, and then for the personal side, pay your bills. Is that pretty cool? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But this has been an interesting journey, and it's been a tough road, because I've really never done anything that was fast anyways, that would just kind of rocked right out the gate and worked out. But it's just something that I really poured my heart into, and I really believe in. And seen a lot of people come and go, and I've seen a lot of chapters open, and we needed to really get serious and get structure and get the attention of the right people. And so 2 years ago, a guy walks up to me and says, I want to pay it forward, because that's what we talk about. Everything's about paying it forward. And I said, great. I have no idea what he meant by that. I said, what do you do? He says, I'm IT. I know IT. I said, oh, you need to talk to my partner. And so I said, would you drive to Stockton? And he goes, well, sure. So he drove to Stockton, met with Steve Arola, my partner, my business partner, and talked about IT. And then Steve said to me afterwards, I says, what'd you think? He says, well, this guy really knows everything he says he knows. He goes, wow, we hit a home run. And we were hoping to rebuild our website so we can bring people back to our website. And that didn't happen, because most people think websites are just websites. This is a social media platform, hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's a huge project. I mean, we sunk $300,000 into the one we deleted. and we got the platform for free. So anyway, it just never happened, and Steve finally built a WordPress website, and it is what it is. Well, about 9 months ago, he introduced me to a guy named Dale and says, I think this guy can help us find money. And we've rewritten our business plan 4 times. And 4 times, and I don't even know how, probably over 1,000 hours with the writing. I'm not exaggerating when I talk about what we did and how we plan on doing it. And so Dale calls me, or I call Dale, and we talk, and we do the MBA and all that kind of stuff, and it doesn't go anywhere. Dale just kind of disappeared. About 3 months ago, Dale calls me up and says, you're still looking for money? I said, yeah. Yeah. And because we're not talking, I mean, it's in the millions that we need. And he goes, I can get it for you. I go, okay. Cool. And we started the process, rewrote our business plan again. And he introduced us to someone who was then turned us around and introduced us to some major multi-billionaires in the United States. And their whole thing, they're kind of philanthropists, they believe in leaving a legacy. It's not just about return on investment, although they want to make money, because that's why they're billionaires. But they really believe in, it's not just to make money life anymore, because they see life in a whole different perspective now. And so 2 of 8 actually have entertained us now, ongoing, nonstop, for at least a month, I would say solid. I believe that we're knocking on the door to a relationship that will finally take Successful Thinkers where it needs to go, not just nationally, but internationally, with all the support, the IT structure, everything that is necessary. And I've talked to a lot of people that said, so you made any money with that thing yet? And I'm sure some people have mentioned to you with your own business thing. And I said, well, if you knew what I know, you probably wouldn't say it the way you said it. I said, because it's more than just the money. And yet, obviously, it has to make money to survive. And so I'm pretty excited.